For most of my life, I thought investing in the stock market was basically gambling. Like you pick a company, you hope it does well, and if it doesn't, you lose your money. Maybe you even owe money. That's what I thought. And because of that, I did nothing for years. If that's where you are right now, this video is for you because I was wrong. And today I'm going to show you exactly what I wish someone had shown me sooner. Dear Niblings, Uncle Brandon here. Quick disclaimer before we get into it. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just an ordinary guy sharing what's worked for me. Treat this like your slightly too enthusiastic uncle explaining money over Thanksgiving dinner. Sound good? Let's go. Let's start with the fear that kept me out of the market the longest. The idea that you can lose money investing. I'd hear people say, I'm losing money in the stock market right now. My brain translated that as, I put in $10 and now I owe $20. That's not what's happening. Think of it like this. Say you have a friend named Scotty B who's really into baseball cards. Yes, that's a real person. Yes, he is probably going to make fun of me for this. Scotty B finds a rare Babe Ruth card at a garage sale for $10. He looks it up. Only 600 were ever printed. Online, it's worth thousands. Then one day, a warehouse is discovered. Thousands more Babe Ruth cards exactly like it. Suddenly, his card is worth nothing. $5. Has he lost money? Well, not yet, because he hasn't sold it. A few months later, news breaks. Those warehouse cards were all fakes. His original, still the real deal, worth thousands again. If you track that card's value, it started high, it went down, and it went back up. But he only locked in a gain or a loss the moment he sold that card. And that's the stock market. When people say they're losing money, they mean the value of what they own has gone down temporarily. If they don't sell, they haven't lost anything yet. And as we'll see in a minute, patience is usually rewarded. About a year ago, from when I'm filming this, the market dropped fast. April 2025, something the president said rattled investors. People started panic selling, and for a few weeks it felt like the sky was falling. My coworkers were freaking out. It was all anyone talked about. And I remember thinking, most of you are in your 20s. Now I get why your grandparents are nervous, but you should be excited. Here's a line I've heard that I love. Nobody walks into a store and panics when things are on sale, unless it's the stock market. So what did I do? Well, I did what I always do. I kept investing, even that month. In fact, I put a little extra in, actually. And within a few months, the market had bounced back higher than before. The people who held on did just fine. The people who panic sold locked in their losses. And that's the lesson, right? Investing is a long game, not a sprint.
See, notice on this chart here how this dip here looks very scary, but the value of it is still greater than it was before 2024. Now, if you started investing right here, you'd think that investing was a mistake because you'd watch the value of your portfolio go down. But in this case, those who held out a month or two longer and didn't sell started to see gains.
I started investing right before COVID. Watched the numbers drop for the better part of a year. Made it automatic so I didn't have to make a decision every month. It just did it automatically every month. And I've seen real growth since then. Now, not I'm rich growth, but real meaningful growth. History shows if you invest the right way and stay in long enough, you make money. Every time. So what's the right way? Here's the other thing I got wrong. When I was younger, I thought investing meant picking the right companies. Apple, Amazon, Bitcoin. That's what I heard people talking about, and it sounded like a guessing game, because it kind of is. Apple seems like a safe bet, right? They've dominated for decades. But what happens when a quantum computing company or an AI startup does something Apple can't keep up with? Their value drops fast. On the flip side, if Apple does stay ahead, the value shoots up. The honest answer is nobody knows. Not me, not the experts on TV, not the guy at the office who acts like he knows, which might have been me at one point. So instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, you invest in something that holds hundreds of baskets at once. The most popular version of this is the S&P 500. That stands for Salt and Pepper 500. No, it doesn't. But you'll probably remember it now. It actually means Standard & Poor's 500. It's an index, basically a scoreboard that tracks the top 500 companies in the United States. If one company falls out of the top 500, it gets replaced. The index always represents the best of what's out there. You can't invest directly in the index itself, but every major brokerage offers a fund that mirrors it. When those 500 companies grow, which historically they do, your investment grows with them. Now, this is not the only way to invest, and it's not the only thing I invest in. But for a beginner in the US, it's probably the best place to start. It's diversified, it's low cost, and it has an 80+ year track record of long-term growth. Okay, so here's where we get practical. Step 1, choose a brokerage. The three most reputable are Vanguard, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab. I use Vanguard and Fidelity. Fidelity also offers health savings accounts, which is a nice bonus. Most of them will have most of the tools you need, but you can find a comparison online and see if one fits your needs a little bit better. Find which one will serve you well. Pick one and open an account like you'd open a bank account. Step 2, choose your account type. You'll have options. For instance, a basic brokerage account, a traditional IRA, or a Roth IRA. I like the Roth IRA because you pay taxes on your contributions now, and then your withdrawals at retirement are tax-free. That's a big deal over 30 to 40 years. That said, do a little reading on traditional versus Roth, because it depends on your situation. I'll link some resources below to help out with that. One important note, there are annual contribution limits for IRAs. Your brokerage will help you track what you've put in, but if you contribute to multiple accounts, you're responsible for making sure you don't exceed the limit for the year. Step 3, pick your fund. On Vanguard, the S&P 500 index fund has a ticker symbol of VFIAX. It requires a $3,000 minimum to start. If you don't have $3,000 sitting around, that's okay. You can start with their S&P 500 ETF, ticker symbol VOO. The minimum there is $1. ETFs work similarly to index funds for our purposes. The index funds are designed for long-term holding, and ETFs do make it easier to trade more frequently. However, for our purposes, you can also hold them long-term. The main difference on Vanguard used to be that you couldn't set up automatic recurring purchases with ETFs like you can with index funds. But as of 2025 and 2026, it looks like that's changed. Worth checking when you sign up to get those payments automatic. Vanguard also offers target date retirement funds with a $1,000 minimum. So what you do is you pick the fund closest to the year you want to retire, and it automatically adjusts over time. More aggressive when you're young, more conservative as you approach retirement. Step 4, make it automatic. This is the most important step. What you don't want to say is, I'll invest whatever's left at the end of the month. There won't be anything left. Set up an automatic transfer right when your paycheck hits. Even $20 or $50 to start. You won't miss what you never see. Here's why starting now matters more than starting with the right amount. In my last video, I talked about Captain America investing $1,000 before going into the ice in 1945. When he woke up in 2011, that $1,000 had grown to nearly $1 million. And by 2026, it would be worth almost $7 million from investing only $1,000. If you're new here, the short version, compound interest is a snowball. It starts slow and then it accelerates. The longer it rolls, the bigger it gets. And the earlier you start, the longer it rolls. Every dollar you invest in your 20s is worth dramatically more at retirement than every dollar you invest in your 30s. Are you in your 30s and haven't started? Start now. 40s, same answer. Better early than late, but better now than never. So here's what I want you to do before you close this video. Open an account. Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Take about 15 minutes. Connect your bank, pick an S&P 500 fund, set up an automatic contribution. What was that word? Contribution? Set up an automatic contribution, whatever you can spare. $20, $50, $100, whatever you can spare. And that's it. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start. In a future video, we'll go deeper on compound interest, because once you really understand it, you'll never want to wait another day. I'll also talk more about why the when matters as much as the how. Until then, watch this video next, where I break down something. It's the natural next step from everything we've covered today. That never got added to the script.